Okay, guys, welcome to our business training. Thank you for being on. For those of you watching the recording or tuning in for the first time, welcome to our team. Welcome to the amazing Isagenix opportunity. And we're going to just jump right into some training from Eric Worre. I had the privilege and honor of attending a leadership training for a select couple hundred of us in the company. And it was called the Isagenix Influencer Summit. I'm going to be walking you through what an influencer is and why it's important for all of us to understand what it is and step into it. And also, I took Eric's trainings. Like I said, he usually does his course in 5 days. It's called Beyond Leadership. And we got him for 2 days. So he took his 5-day training, condensed it to 2 days. Now I'm going to take the 2-day training and try to condense it into 2 or 3 small trainings for you guys. We have a lot of exciting updates with the team. We're going to talk about those at the end, but I just want to give you guys a little bit of a spoiler alert. I have created an entire structure and team strategy for the entire 2018. Whoop, whoop. So it's literally going to be a plug and play system for everybody. And it doesn't mean that you can't put your own flair on it. You absolutely can. Everybody on here is a leader and is establishing their own executive teams. But what I felt we were lacking as a team, as an organization, after doing this for years and years, was an actual a team business plan, right? So a vision of what we're going to create in 2018. How many of you can get excited about having a structure to plug into all year long? And not having to try to reinvent the wheel every month. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What promo are we doing? What are we doing this? You guys, what are we doing? Where are we going? Where's the meme? So all of that kind of chaos, I will take responsibility for because I have never planned this far in advance. And one of the things that Eric said to me that scared the absolute bejeezies out of me when I was sitting there was that my schedule should be booked out for 18 months in advance. And I went, into fight or flight. As Jeffrey Combs teaches, I was like, because I have never planned that far in advance. I've always done it in quarters, or I'm pretty scheduled, as you guys know, but that just blew my mind. And so he actually had all the top income earners stand up that schedule that far out in advance. And guess what? All their paychecks are bigger than mine. So I'm committed to expanding my comfort zone and committing to you guys to be a lot more organized as a team leader and inspiring you guys to be organized in your team leadership for it on. Does that sound good to everybody? Awesome. Okay, so we're going to talk about that at the end, and we're going to talk about the campaigns that we're going to be running and how you guys can utilize those to just have a strategy to go fast. But I wanted to just kind of go over the idea of being an influencer and what that means. And we talk a lot about leadership, and he said something so powerful. I went back through all my notes this morning, and then I condensed what I wanted to teach you guys today. So he talked about that leadership is super overrated. Everybody's a leader, right? We are bombarded with leadership ideas and books and seminars and all these things, right? You can think of it, especially in the personal development world, the network marketing world, everybody's a leader. But he said, what you really want to step into is becoming an influencer. And what is the difference between those things? Okay. So you guys are all leaders on this call. I'm not worried about your leadership. My goal is to inspire everyone to all of us together individually and collectively to step more into the influencer category. So I'm going to break that down of what an influencer really does. So number one, influencers are independent. They do not require other people to move with them. They move. They do stuff. They have initiatives. They take action. They just go for it. They have a level of independence, but it's not a lone wolf syndrome, because we know in network marketing, if you have a mindset of lone wolf, you're probably going to offend some people, and not a lot of people are going to want to link arms with you, right? If you're just like, I do everything, leave me alone, blah, blah, blah. And he talked about having rogue people come into your teams like that will actually disrupt the energy. That has happened. Some of us have actually seen it happen. I know some of you have been around long enough to actually see when that energy comes in. It's very disruptive. It's self-serving rather than community building. Does that make sense? But an influencer is independent. They're not waiting for someone else to tell them what to do. They're not waiting for someone else to step into action. They're looking at the opportunity and saying, I want this so badly. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to fail forward, and I'm not going to wait for someone to hold my hand. Does that make sense? So our goal as leaders is to be an influencer so that we automatically start to attract more influencers into our team. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, they don't focus on problems. They focus on solutions. So an influencer will look at something in an organization that they don't like, because there's always going to be something that you want to do differently, or there's always going to be something that upsets you about the company, even though our company is amazing. There's always going to be something, right? Isagenix cannot please everyone, and no leader can please everyone. There's always going to be different perceptions of it. But influencers don't blame people. They just figure out a solution for themselves, for their team, and they take action. Okay. So number one, be independent. Number two, find solutions, not problems. If you have an individual on your team that's always calling you with this is the problem, I don't like this, I don't like that, this is the problem, they're the problem. Okay. Eric broke that down for us. If you have a complainer, if you're the one complaining, you are the problem. Okay. So I think that sounds like a harsh statement, but in reality, for leadership, I think it's so important for all of us to hold the mirror and think about what we are teaching our people and how we are relating, because people will do what we do. They will do what we do, not what we say. So if we're talking about this is such a positive group, we love it, blah, 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 but at the same time, we're complaining in their ear about we don't like this, we don't like that, this is hard, guess what they're going to think? They're going to follow that energy, okay? So we want to fix problems. We want to focus on solutions, not bring it to other people, okay? Number three, their presence creates action. For those of you that have had the privilege of being in the same room as Jim and Kathy Coover, you feel it, yes? You can feel the energy coming off of them. You can feel their vibrational urgency that they want you to do something. You don't even really know what it is, but you feel called into action. Their mere presence creates action. You want to become an influencer, so the minute people are around you, they feel inspired to do something with their life. And a lot of you already have that presence. A lot of you are already doing that in your communities. You're already teaching classes. You might have that presence in your church or in your home. Like you walk in the room and your family's like, oh, time to clean up. Mom's here. Like whatever that is, you are an influencer of that space. So you can take that same energy, however you use it in your daily life, and you can bring that into your executive teams as you're building. Okay. So those are the top three things. Independent. They fix problems. They focus on solutions, not problems, and their presence creates action. So you want to look at yourself honestly and say, what out of those three things, where am I the weakest? Where do I need to grow? Which one of those three things scares the crap out of me the most? Right? And then start to step into that energy. Okay. He also said that the minute you acquire 25 influencers on your team, that's $1 million a year in network marketing. When people always ask me, how many people do I need to get, right? How many people do I need to get to this, to get to that? It's not the amount of people, it's the amount of influencers you have on your team attracting other influencers. So if your goal is to become a 7-figure income earner, 25 is your goal. If your goal is to become a 6-figure income earner, I would say probably between 7 and 10. 7 and 10 influencers. That's about what I would say I have on my team, between 7 and 10 people that have affluence, that are out there, that are doing things without me, that are self-sufficient, that take action, they take initiative, they go for it. Okay. So that can give you a gauge of where you want your income to be, where your current income is. And if you're in the $10,000 to $15,000 a year range, you can just look on your team and see how many influencers do you have. And then it becomes a really easy formula to plug into, right? Rather than how many people do I need to enroll, it's how many influencers am I committed to attracting on my team? Okay. I thought this was really good because I never use this as an excuse, but love your upline. Don't make them your excuse. Okay. We so often get into network marketing and we're like waiting for the shiny person to come into our organization to make it sparkly and magical. And I've always been driven to help you guys to the best of my ability. I hope that I do a good job. Sometimes I'm sure a lot of times I make mistakes, but I just didn't ever have a team that I was on a little random team. So I never really knew what it was like to have a supportive upline. So I've gone out of my way to try to be supportive. And in the process, I feel like I've disabled people because I've allowed them to be codependent. So I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off for everybody. And if you want to go fast, awesome. There's no pressure, but I'm going to build self-sustaining leaders because that's in your best interest. And it's also in my best interest for all of our mental health. Okay. We need to be like codependent on anybody. But don't make your upline your excuse. If you don't like what's happening, change it. If there's not good leadership in your area in terms of meetings, create them. I just always kind of did that stuff. And then I babied my team because I didn't want you guys to have to go through the growing pains that I went through in the beginning. But that's also how I grew. That's also how I got better. So I've done you guys a disservice, I think, for some people anyways. So that stops. We're not doing that anymore. Okay. The other thing is recruiting is not influence. You might have someone on your team that's enrolled a lot of people. It does not mean that their income is growing because recruiting is not influence. Recruiting is signing people up and you become what's called the adding and subtracting businesses. You add people in your business and then you subtract them really fast, right? Because there's no influencer in there lifting up the team. So people are coming in, they're coming out, they're not getting guidance, they're not getting coaching and training, blah, 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 whatever. So you want to take that and you want to step into the multiplication business. You want to be multiplying people because that's where the duplication happens. That's where the long-term residual income happens when you go from adding and subtracting people. And we've all been there, guys. We've all had people join and then they say they're going to do this and then they don't. That's part of the 80-20 rule. But if you focus on the 20%, 80% of the people that are going to do nothing, that's fine. 20% of the people that are going to do something, and those are the people that you really want to pour your energy into. You don't want to drag people. And Kathy said something really powerful from stage. She said, look for those that are hungry, not those that have potential. Look for those that are hungry, not those that have potential. We might see someone's potential. Oh my gosh, how many people do you see? You're like, they would be amazing in my company if they could only see how amazing they could be, right? We are projecting our situation onto them that they don't want. They're not hungry for it. And we need to respect that. And we need to back off. We want the people that are hungry, that are like us, that want to link arms and stand by our side and run fast. That's who you're looking for in terms of business partners. Don't chase people, guys. It's so exhausting and they won't like you. You'll ruin a relationship that could have been a great friendship, right? So, okay. So recruiting is the gateway, but it's not the answer. Is recruiting important? Absolutely. You have to always be recruiting and always looking for talent and always enrolling customers and serving people 100%. But it doesn't mean you just recruit, and then you sit there and you wait for your organization to multiply and you may wait for the magic fairy dust to come in. That's not going to happen. That's the reality. That doesn't work. And what Eric teaches is outside of Isagenix, it's industry wide. So he works with all the top network marketing companies in the world and also the top businesses in the world. He works outside of the industry as well. And so he tracks all of this stuff and he creates training around what's working, what's not working for the top multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar companies. So these are tried and true principles. These are not like my creation. This is stuff straight from Eric Worre. Okay. I love this quote. If you're taking notes, write this down. The world is not served by me playing small. The world is not served by me playing small. If you take that into your heart every day when you show up in your enterprise, your business will start to shift. 100%. You will start to shift in who you attract. Your cycles will start to shift. Your retention rate will start to shift. How many of you know, by a show of hands or just a nod, that you know that you've been playing really small in your business? Nod your head. Everybody. We all are on some level, even myself, 100%. I sat there in the room this weekend with people that I've been in business with for years, and I've watched them go really fast. And there's been times where I just sat there and I was like, enough, Britt, like enough playing small. Like maybe some of you guys feel like I'm playing big. I'm not. I'm still playing small in a lot of ways because I'm not doing everything that I could do every single day. And there's things that I don't do out of fear and all that stuff because everybody has that. Even the top income earners have that. And he actually pulled them out, like the people that were making 7 figures or more in our business. There was about maybe 8 of them in the room. And he'd have them stand up and like, do you have insecurities? Yes. Do you have conflict with your consciousness on certain days? Yes. Do you ever want to quit? Yes. Do you have bad days and growing days? Yes. Because they're human. It never goes away. It's just about our potential. And I talked about this on the Monday Mindset call. You're always growing because once you hit 1 million a year, guess what? You want to hit 2 million a year. Once you hit 2 million, like it just keeps going. You have to keep moving through your boundaries as a human being. That's the way we are designed. Okay. So don't think it's like, oh, it's so easy for them. No, it's not. They just show up differently every day. They just committed to not playing small anymore. That's it. So I'm committing to you guys to not play small, and I hope you'll join me on that. So I thought there were some important things because a lot of people don't understand network marketing. I know I didn't in the beginning, and there's a lot of new leaders that are rising up. So let's talk about what is the definition of network marketing? What do we do so that we can feel confident in what we're a part of? Okay. So number one, we offer quality products and services using word of mouth advertising. We offer quality products and services using word of mouth advertising. Pretty simple, right? It's what we do. We offer quality products and services using word of mouth advertising. Number two, we create an ever expanding network of people doing the same. So your network doesn't stop. I had someone recently on the phone that wanted to join the business. Okay, well, at what point do I have to stop talking to people? And I said, oh, sweetie, this business is not for you. This is not for you. If you're already asking, when do I have to stop talking to people? You're not in the right, this is not the business for you. You have to always be inspired to talk to people. You have to always want to connect with people and help them and serve them. That is a principle of what we do. And if it is not a principle for you, then this is not the right industry for you, period. And that's okay. But people need to know that coming in, right? That's an important thing to know. So number two is create an ever expanding network of people doing the same thing, which is offering quality products and services using word of mouth advertising. Okay. Number three is to increase the productivity of that network. Increase the productivity of that network. So number one, we offer quality products and services using word of mouth advertising. Number two, we create an ever expanding network of people doing the same thing. And number three, we increase the productivity of that network. Really basic, guys, right? Like really, isn't that helpful to kind of like put it in a box? Like, what do we do as a network marketer? There it is. Boop, boop. That's it. That's the parameters of what we do. And we do it over and over and over again. You share, they share, repeat. You share, they share, repeat. That's our compensation plan, right? You share, they share, repeat over and over and over. It is not glamorous. It is not always sexy. It is not always something that you're going to want to do every single day. But if you're committed to growing and you're committed to helping and serving other people, then it's easy to plug into that, right? Okay. Who can I help? Who can I uplift? Who can I support? That's really what we do. Who can I help? Who can I uplift? Who can I support? Who can I let go of that doesn't want my support anymore? Who can I release that I'm dragging along that does not want to do this with me? Let them go, guys. Please, for the love of God, let them go. And you will be so free. And they will like you better if you just leave them alone if they don't want to do it. Okay? All right, moving on. All distractions are equal. I would write that down, guys. Put it up on your blackboard or your whiteboards. All distractions are equal. What are yours? I know what mine are. We all have them. All distractions are equal. Scrolling Facebook, flipping distraction. Instagram, a distraction. Those things are two very powerful things for our industry, but you have to really rein it in and figure out how you're going to use that for your benefit because it will suck and drain your life really fast. All distractions are equal. You have to figure out what you are willing to give up to get what you don't have right now. Because it's not going to just magically appear. You are going to have to work for it. Okay. We are part of the most, I love this. I talked about this on the mindset call, I think. We are part of the most forgiving profession in the world. Isn't that freeing? You can suck for a really long time and nobody fires you. Nobody's ever going to fire you from a job that you're not good at yet, right? Like it's the most forgiving profession with the hugest upside potential. There is no glass ceiling on what we can make, especially I think it's all women on the line today. There is nobody telling us how much we are worth and what our value is. Isn't that liberating? And at the same time, we are the people that are going to forgive ourselves every day in our business and get into action, or we are the people that are going to hold ourselves back. That's it. Nobody else does it. So you can literally suck for 5 years, which I did. I sucked at this for a long time, and I quit a bunch of times, and I got discouraged, and I came back, and my team fell apart, and blah, 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 you know, whole sob story in my brain. And nobody cared. Nobody was there judging me. Just me. Me judging me was there 100%. But Jim and Kathy Coover weren't calling me saying, get it together, what's wrong with you? My upline wasn't calling me saying, get it together, what's wrong with you? Like, it was just me. So no matter how long you've been on the team, no matter what your challenges are, like, just know that you are in a forgiving profession. And the minute you decide to show up, that business is going to be there to support you. It just is. It's the most beautiful thing. And you can make money while you are stumbling, falling on your face. And you have to be okay with doing that. You have to be okay with the fact that you are going to make major mistakes in business. You're going to say the wrong thing. You're going to do the wrong thing, and it's okay. And Eric said, influencers, the reason why people become influencers is because they have been willing to publicly fail and handle it. Oh, isn't that scary? I know somebody who just said, like, just took your breath away. You have to be okay with publicly failing, and you handle it, and you pick yourself up, and you have a different self-confidence, and you move on with your life. Okay? Everybody has had those moments. Everybody. Susan Sly, Kathy Coover, everybody that you idolize right now, Emily Vavra, whoever it is, whoever you idolize in the company, in our industry, guess what? They have publicly failed and they have handled it. That's why they are still in the position that they're in, period. They are not smarter than you. They are not more talented than you. They've just learned to do things differently than you, okay? And me, it's same. It's for all of us. So we are in a forgiving profession. Please don't forget that, okay? If you walk away for 5 years, as long as you don't let your spot go, guess what? Your downline's going to be there chugging away, chugging away. So realize what we have and then don't abuse it is what I want to say. Like, don't be like, oh, it's a forgiving profession, so I'm just going to sit on my butt for 3 years and do nothing and then be disappointed in myself. Like, don't do that, but just understand that nobody is going to slap you on the wrist for not doing it right. Like, you have to grow through your challenges. The other thing is give yourself radical permission to be yourself. Like, write it as an affirmation. I give myself radical permission to be myself. Don't you find it liberating when you see people fully being themselves? Don't you then want to be around that person? Like, it's so freeing to see them not care. It's so freeing to see them not be stuck in their own story about whatever. They're just them and they're not perfect, but they're being them, right? And isn't that liberating to watch? So give yourself your permission to do that and to fail forward. Okay, that was a decision I made in my business it's probably been about 4 years now. I made a decision to I'm just going to be myself. I'm going to talk about the things I want to talk about. I'm going to help the people that I want to help. I'm going to show up in the way of the world that I feel that God has spoken into my heart to be, and I'm going to stop caring what other people think. And really, guys, at that point is when my whole life shifted, when I made that decision.
What are you eating?
Okay. I love whoever is joining us on the line. I love you. Thank you for joining us. If you could mute out, that'd be awesome. Beautiful. Thank you. Okay. So moving on. This is something that one of the things that Eric goes, all you top leaders start doing things that work really well. And then you're like, oh, this is working. And then you stop doing them. Because you get lazy or whatever happens. And there were so many moments like that where I was like, oh, I used to do that. Yeah, I don't know why. Why did we stop doing that? I don't even remember why. So one of the things that I stopped doing and I stopped duplicating was the new associate interview and commitment sheet. I kind of do it with you guys on the phone now. I ask you questions and we talk about your goals and blah, blah, blah. And I write it down in a notebook, but you're not writing it down. And we don't have like a contract basically between the two of us. And it's called the new associate interview. And Kathy Coover has said this. I've heard her say this 10,000 times. And I always come back from events and I'm like, I'm going to do it. And then I don't do it. So the new associate interview and commitment sheet is what you should be doing with all your leaders. And I'm going to go back around. I'm going to circle the team. And all of you that have never done a new associate interview with me, or you want to do a new one to establish new goals and a commitment to yourself and to the team, schedule a time with me and we will do it together. Okay. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to take that new associate interview and we're going to send them to Kathy Coover. We're going to send them to Kathy Coover as an accountability. Ooh, I just saw everybody go, oh. Here's why. If we're going to represent a company a beautiful company. They have done so much work for us, and they pour a lot of time and effort into us, whether we are consciously aware of it or not, and we take it for granted. So if we want to be accountable to ourselves, we have to also be accountable to Isagenix. Would you guys agree? Okay. So we are going to send Kathy Coover our commitments to ourselves and our business, and I'm going to send them to corporate. And I'm going to do it too. I'm doing it with you guys. I commit to representing Isagenix to the best of my ability because I'm grateful for this opportunity. I'm grateful for what this company has allowed me to do and to achieve. And here's what I'm committed to also doing with you, with your support. From a corporate side, think about how much they do for us on a daily basis. And what do? We call and complain to customer service, right? Oh my gosh, the shipping, somebody lost their like we call and complain. We never call and say, thank you. Thank you for running a $22 million website that I don't have to manage for free. Thank you for continually adding bonuses into my potential business that I'm not taking advantage of, but thank you for offering them. Thank you for continuing to pour millions of dollars into science and research so that I can have a product line that I can sell, but I don't have to spend $1 on creating it. I mean, you guys, think about what we have. Think about, we're like these spoiled little children. We're spoiled rotten. And then we're like complaining instead of just being grateful. Can everyone relate to that on some level? I know we've all been there. We've all called corporate at some time. Oh my gosh, the shipping, somebody, blah, 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 blah. Somebody was missing their free shaker cup in their 30-day pack. How could this have happened, right? Like we call and we complain rather than like, wow, they offer a free shaker cup. They don't have to do that. They do that because they want to. So for those of you that want to do this exercise with me, let me know. We will book a time. We will go over the new associate interview together. We will sign it and we will send it to Kathy Coover. Okay? No pressure. You don't have to do it. I'm going to do it. And I would love all of you to join me if you are committed to expanding this team and this company. Okay? Moving on. Oh, I love this. It's hard to look good and get better at the same time. Oh, so true. So stop worrying about looking so good. Okay? Be a hot mess and be okay with it. For a long time, there was like a campaign in Isagenix. I think Susan came up with it, but it was Hot Mess Express. And so people would hashtag as they were like maxing out their business centers, who's a hot mess express today? Like, boom, like you have to be okay to not be okay as you're growing and changing. Okay. How many of you would like to know the statistics industry-wide of what you're currently producing, where you fall into industry categories? Would that be of value to you? Okay. So one of the things he said is balance is a myth, which I love that. I'm so tired of people like promoting this lifestyle and thinking it's going to be all glory and no hard work. And you know what, you guys, there's days that I feel balanced and there's days that it's not. And building a business from home is not easy, but it's so worth it. And it's a beautiful thing that you can do. But you have to be okay that there's going to be days where you're not balanced. That's why on one of the training calls recently, that one week I had just a huge enrollment week and my laundry was piled up 6 feet high. And I showed you guys, because I don't want you to like look at me on Facebook and be like, oh my gosh, like da-da-da. Like I don't have a nanny. I have a housekeeper that comes twice a month. Like my laundry was out of control. And you know what? I was totally okay with it because I enrolled 22 people. Choose what you're going to focus on, right? Laundry was not, I was like, the laundry can wait. I'm helping people change their lives. Like the socks will get folded at some point. Nobody's going to die from not having their socks folded. Like it's going to be okay. So you have to know that balance is a myth and stop comparing yourself to other people that you think have balanced lives because they don't, because they're human. Okay. So, in the industry now, these statistics are industry-wide, not just in Isagenix. But it's important to know 70% of everyone you enroll will do nothing. 70% of every person that you enroll will just either want to consume the products or they'll quit. They'll be in the category of what's called a customer. 70%. Our company's specific statistics for that's a little bit higher. It's 83% in Isagenix. But industry-wide, 70% of all people that join any network marketing company will do nothing because they don't want to. It's not for them. They just want to join or they want the products or whatever. Okay, so let the 70% be. 20% are what's called social enrollers. They enroll in their lifetime 1 to 2 people. In their lifetime, 1 to 2 people. That's called a social enroller. You know those people that come in, they go consult and they get their 2 people and then you never hear from them again? and you're like, oh, I lost my consultant, my one little pretty pet that I was so excited. They're a social enroller. They didn't want to do anything more than that. Let them be. Let them be. Okay. 5% of all people will become salespeople, and they will enroll 3 to 5 people over the course of their career. That's it. 3 to 5 people. They won't go further than that. They don't want to. That's 5% of people you enroll. 70% will do nothing. 20% will do 1 to 2. 5% will do 3 to 5. Now, 3% will become what's called sales leaders, and they will enroll between 6 and 9 people over the course of their life. So if you are currently in that bracket of 6 to 9 people, congratulations, you are in the top 3% of our entire industry. Isn't that important to know? Doesn't that give you more self-worth? Instead of comparing yourself to people that have enrolled 200 people, you can go, I'm in the top 3% of my industry in a company that I just started to build. And you can stop the shame and the guilt and the overwhelm and all this stuff because you're in the top 3%, guys. 3% of people will never do, most people will never do what you did. You put yourself into the top 3%. Okay, that's amazing. So the top 2% are what's called super recruiters. And those are people that have enrolled 6 to 9 people. So if you have enrolled 6 to 9 people, congratulations, you are in the top 2% of your chosen new industry. Super awesome. Okay, super awesome. Sophia has a question.
Brittany, you said 6 to 9 people were the 3%, or at least that's what I've written down.
Yes. Then the 2% are, 10 plus. Okay. Super recruiters are 10 plus. Sorry, I said the same thing again. Thank you for catching that. Super recruiters are 10 plus. If we want to build 6 to 7 figure incomes, legitimate over and over again incomes, not like you hit it once and it goes away, okay? Then you want to look for super recruiters and you want to work with super recruiters in terms of business, okay? Those are the people that you want to pour your time, your energy, and your collaboration into. If somebody's not a super recruiter, that's fine. You love them, you help them when you can help them, all that stuff, but they don't get all your time. They don't get it because they don't want all your time, and they frankly don't deserve it because you are a business person, a CEO. Now, think about if you spent $500,000 creating a company and you are the CEO and you invested your entire life savings and then some, you took loans and all this stuff, and you are the acting CEO of this company that you're building, and you are looking for a team of other people to join you at the executive level, and you had people that weren't showing up on time, they didn't get on the training calls, they didn't return your phone call, would you spend 1 ounce of your energy on those people? No. But you do it in network marketing. You do it in network marketing. You keep calling and begging them, right? Begging them to join you at the top of your company. They don't want to. Let them go. Look for the people that are hungry, not the people that have potential. And once you release that, I guarantee the people you attract will be different because your posture will be different and people will be attracted to your posture. That's why my inbox, a lot of people show up and they go, I want to do the business with you. I don't even know what you do. Explain it to me. I just want to be in business with you. Now, that didn't happen to me 5 years ago, you guys, because I didn't have that posture. So you step into that posture, you get comfortable being, I am the CEO and I'm looking for other CEOs that I can mentor and uplift, not other people I can drag around as my pretty little pets. That's what Jeff would say. Stop treating it like your pretty little pet. Okay. And they don't want to be that. It's creepy and weird. And people don't they're like, get away from me. Right. So when you have 4 out of 100, so say you have 100 people on your team and 4 of them are super recruiters, you are in momentum. That's what you want. 4 out of 100. If you have 100 people, 4 of them, and 4 of them are super recruiters, your business will be in momentum, which is what we want. So it's basically 4%, right? Out of 100, those are the numbers. Your business will be in momentum if you have 4 people. Okay? Start with 2. Start looking for 2. Get one on your left, one on your right. Do you think your business center will change if you get one super recruiter on your left, one super recruiter on your right? Absolutely. Absolutely. I've experienced it. I've had it happen. One person can come into your business center and change the entire dynamic because they're a super recruiter and they go fast. Super recruiters go fast. Okay. The other thing is getting people paid, helping people stay accountable to their health goals, helping them, whether they want to be a super recruiter or not, doesn't matter. Is your goal should be to get everyone paid just for their products, because here's why. If you have a person, so you take their enrollment date plus 6 months and they haven't made anything, only 20% of them will be there. So every person you enroll, if you don't help them make any money, they never get their products paid for, they never get a little coupon, they never get an Isabody coupon, whatever it is, whatever type of free something, they got some sort of compensation. Only 20% of them will be there in 6 months plus their enrollment date. So 7 months total, only 20% will be there. However, here's the exciting part. If that same group of people makes $1 or more, it goes up to 74% retention. That's huge, you guys. So would you rather have 20% retention or 74? I would rather have 74. I don't want to waste people's money, time, energy. I don't want to coach them if they're just going to quit in 6 months. You know what I mean? Like, you want to set people up for long-term success because your time is valuable, and we work for free in a lot of ways in network marketing because we don't get paid for time. We get paid for results. So if the first time you're enrolling someone, a great question to ask them, and I do ask this to all my clients, is how committed are you to achieve this goal, and how much time are you willing to commit to let yourself achieve that, basically. 90 days, 6 months, a year, what do you think? And I let them answer their commitment level. Now, if they quit in a month, I can call them up and say, Susie, you said to me that you were committed to releasing 50 pounds. Now, you told me you'd be ecstatic if you could do it in a year, but you were committed to 6 months. And now your auto ship's coming up on your second month and you've already quit. Let's go back and talk about why you wanted to start this in the first place. Because here's the thing, Susie doesn't want to quit. Susie doesn't want to quit. She's just self-sabotaging herself, and she's allowing her old programming to mess with her mind of a decision she made to actually empower her life. So it's my job as her coach, not to push her, but to help her see that, hey, you set a goal. You gave yourself 6 months. You only gave yourself 3 weeks. Why would you do that to yourself? It's so cruel. Give yourself 6 months. Let's recommit. Let's give it the 6 months. If you still are not happy in 6 months, let's have a different conversation. See what we can shift. But are you willing to give yourself at least 6 months? Yes or no? How many people do you think are going to say no to that? You guys, they want to change so badly. They do. So you get better at this as you do it. You get more confident in your approach as you talk to people, but you have to be willing to also talk to people and screw up. I mean, you just do. You just do. Okay. You have to be willing to do that. So that is a lot of stuff to cover. I want to end with some confidence tips, and then I'm going to talk about team strategy for the year, and we're going to talk about a team calendar, and then I'm going to take questions. So this training will probably go the full hour just today because we had a lot to cover. But I want to give you 8 steps to confidence, because truly building confidence is the way to become an influencer. And it doesn't happen by sitting on your computer watching other people do it. It happens by actually doing it. And I want to give a shout out to Sophia, because she's a perfect example of somebody who didn't feel really confident about her abilities in network marketing. Actually, Sophia, can you unmute?
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Fine.
I've watched you absolutely transform in the last year or so on the team. Can you just, for those that are new that haven't heard your story, one, could you just tell us your brief story? How much weight did you release and what you were experiencing before Isagenix? And then I want to use you as an example for confidence.
Prior to Isagenix, I had worked very hard to release the weight, exercising on a daily basis, and really wasn't getting anywhere. So when Isagenix came into my life, I was able to release 40 pounds. And in all honesty, I just I just shouted out to everyone. I wanted everyone to have this in their lives. Now, I'm very new to this country. I've only been here for 4.5 years. So that I did not have a social network. My social network, I think, was Suzanne and Natalie, and that's it. So it's
one
been
on your left, one on your right.
one on
one on the left, one on the right. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's been very, very challenging for me. And my husband lives abroad. He lives in Iceland. So I'm kind of here alone with 2 kids and 2 dogs and trying to make it all work.
She's amazing. And I've watched you step out of your comfort zone. You've become a certified personal trainer, spin instructor, right?
Yes.
Teaching your own classes because you had the physical confidence, you transformed your body and you wanted to teach other people fitness. So she's training and doing spin classes. She is also doing her Facebook Lives, even though she's so out of her comfort zone with that, right?
Totally out of my comfort zone. I hate going back and watching them.
But you did it and you're incredible. How many of you found value in Sophia's lives? She's amazing. How many of you, when she gets up in the room, can feel her presence? When those of you that have seen her speak live. Yeah, she's amazing.
Thank you.
But she's developing her confidence, but you're not stopping.
I told you at the holiday party how inspired I was by your live. And I mean, it was like, I think Cassie and I both came up to you and were just like, it was incredible. Like you owned it. You really like sold everyone who was watching. I was like, I didn't check out. I didn't, I was just focused on what you were saying. So
thank you. It means a lot because I go back and watch it and I think, oh my gosh, what have I done?
Oh gosh, don't ever go back and watch your lives, you guys. I would do the same thing. I'm like angry in them and scream like, oh my gosh, don't go back. Don't watch your lives. Don't watch your own lives. Let the world watch your lives. Okay. I would drive myself crazy if I went back and watched. Sometimes I'll watch them to answer comments and stuff, but I like have to mute myself out because I don't want to listen to myself. It's obnoxious. Okay. So just know that everybody feels that way watching themselves. Everybody's like, is that what my voice sounds like? Is that how I look? I mean, everybody, you guys, in acting class, Talia, you know this, in acting class, right? You do a thing, you watch it back, you're like, oh dear Lord, please take it off. It's embarrassing. So everybody feels that way. Everybody feels that way. Okay. Even Brad Pitt on certain days probably would feel that way. Okay. So let's talk about confidence. Thank you, Sophia, for sharing. You're amazing. Number 1, here's the 8 keys to growing your confidence. Number 1, study. Read, listen, watch, study. Okay. Number 2, model. Take someone you know that is doing what you want to do and do whatever it is that they're doing. My mentor in Isagenix, when I started, this was before Facebook, this was before social media boom. We only did home parties. That's all we had was belly to belly. And he came and did an opportunity meeting for me. And I just thought he was just such a powerful speaker. And I was obsessed. So I literally would sit there with a recorder. I don't even think I had like a nice cell phone. I don't remember, but I just remember with a notepad and a recorder. It was like an iPod recorder or something, recording him and writing down every word he said so I could do my own meetings because he lived in Utah and I lived in California and I couldn't depend on him to show up and run my meetings. And I said, I want to build this business. What do I do? And he said, do a home party every week for a year. And I said, okay. And I was pregnant. My husband's gone all the time. And I was like, I did it. My mom and I did home parties every week for a year. And guess what, guys? Sometimes nobody would show up. I'd practice to my dog. I'd practice to the living room like it was full of people because I wanted it so bad. I wanted to be good. I didn't want to suck. And I sucked in the beginning. I didn't want to suck. I wanted to be good. So I practice. I would listen to Susan. Sometimes people will be like, oh, you sound like Susan on that call because I've listened to her for 10 years and I've modeled her behavior because I am inspired by who she is. So find someone that's doing something that you find value in and model them. Model Kathy Coover, model Susan Sly, model whoever that you are attracted to in terms of their presentation skills and do what they do. Because they didn't start off being good, you guys. They didn't. They started off being bad and they just practiced. They got better. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3 is practice. Number 1, study. Number 2, model. Number 3, practice. Practice. You're uncomfortable talking to people about your story. Say your story 100 times a day in the mirror. Guess what? Next time you pop into Target in the line, huh, Megan? Megan met this great guy checking out at Target. Megan's brand new to the team. She's never done network marketing. And she said, you'd be amazing in my organization. Do you want to do? So all of a sudden we're on a 3-way call, right, Meg? And what did he say? Megan, unmute. What did he say on the line?
Oh my God, a lot of things, but he just said, thank you. I want to serve the world, and I miss connecting with people and all of these wonderful things. He said, you were a spark when you walked through my line, and I didn't feel like a spark, but okay. So it was.
And he's excited. You know, he's looking at the opportunity. Now Megan and I don't know what he's going to do, and there's no attachment to what he's going to do. Right. No. But it was fun to see. I mean, we learned so much in 15 minutes. We were on the phone for like 13 and a half minutes with him. I learned what he did in the past. What was his calling? What did he feel called to? He was a missionary. He ran a church. He's packing bags at Target, guys. Do you think he wants to do that? Do you think that's his calling? No, he just needs in. So anyways, the point of the situation is that Megan was brave. She didn't really know. She didn't have to be perfectly scripted. She just said, hey, you are magnetic, and I think you might find value in my community. Are you open to doing a phone call? And he said, absolutely. So we got on the phone.
Yeah, I put his name and number on the back of my Target receipt and put it in my wallet, and off I went.
And then we got on the phone with him, and it was great. So we'll see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen with him, but you detach, right? You're not like, you know, addicted to people's like outcomes. But it was just a perfect example of she's practicing, she's modeling, she's studying, she's modeling, she's practicing, and great things happen when that happens. Okay. So thank you for sharing, Meg. Number 4, performance. Get on the field. If you want to be an Olympic anything, if you want to be the best in your industry, you want to get paid like the best, you have to get in the game, guys. You have to get in the game. That means you have to get on the phone. That means you have to start doing meetings. You got to get on training calls. You got to start doing your own training calls, like all that stuff. And I want to give a shout out to Emily, who just unmuted. No, good, Em. I was calling on you, so you unmuted for every time. Emily has not had experience.
I was just going to add in events too, because I was inspired. That's why I unmuted. You have to go to events. And I was talking to Talia this morning, and we were just excited about the fact that we're going to room together at NYKO, and we don't know how, we don't know, you know, what it's going to look like, but we know we're going to be there, and we know we're going to be accountable. And I know I'm going to help her with the baby if we need to. We're going to rock it, because it's life-changing going to an event. It just is.
Absolutely. And shout out to Megan, to Em, and to Talia, who all committed to going to NYKO. They bought their ticket. We got our flights. You guys, I get it. It's sticky and it's hard, and you've got kids and you're juggling things. Like I live that. I understand it. It's a sacrifice, but it's a sacrifice I'm continually willing to make for the team and for my own personal growth, because going to events it's a game changer, and it's an absolute. If you want to grow in this business, you just have to go. You just have to go. And Eric did talk about that a lot. But performance, get on the field, right? Show up. And Emily's a perfect example. She's now my executive assistant. She does a lot for me. She had no experience being an assistant. She had never done this before. We're learning together, trial and error, right? We're learning and growing together. She's done a fabulous job of serving the team. And she has no experience doing this. But you know what? She saw that I had a need for something, and she raised her hand and said, Britt, I want to learn. I want to shadow you, and I want to help you. And she's done that, and she shows up consistently. So I give a lot of credit to Emily. She's totally changed, I think, the organizational structure of our team. How many people have found value in what Emily is doing? Raise your hand. Huge, huge value. Okay. So number 5 is get feedback. Don't be afraid to get feedback. Now, be careful of the feedback that you get. Okay. And I say this from love, because if you get feedback from the wrong people, it will derail you. So get feedback from the people that you know understand what you're doing, not the haters. Don't go get feedback from your haters, please. Of course, they're going to try to hate on you and squash you, because that makes them feel powerful. Doing that is keeping you small in your little comfort zone. So don't go to your whole family if they're judging network marketing right now and say, hey guys, I'm going to do my presentation for you. Okay. They're probably going to poo-poo it. So choose what feedback you take on, and ask yourself, is this person that's giving me this feedback currently doing and living the lifestyle that I want to create? If they are not, you simply say, thank you, no thank you. Okay. Thank you, no thank you. Thank you so much for your opinion. No thank you. I'm not going to internalize that and take that on. However, it doesn't mean that you, I'm constantly calling Kathy and Carl and bouncing ideas off them. I bounce ideas off Em. I bounce ideas off other leaders on the team. I go, what do you guys think? What should we do differently? Where am I sucking? How can I get better? Right, Em? Don't I do that with you guys a lot? Right? So just know that there's always a growing process. And I sat, in there this weekend and tried to soak up as much as I could with all of the $1 million earners. Now, some of them are my really good friends and I've been through a lot with them. And some of them I don't know as well, but I was trying to learn from everybody. And I flew home with Ellen Bradley Guinness, who, if you guys don't know her, she's a dear friend of mine, and she's produced over $5 million in the company. She has an amazing story. And she's mentored me a lot over the years. Now, we are not financially linked, but I love her. She's like my little Isa fairy godmother. And I just picked her brain. I was like, I get to sit next to you for an hour and a half. I don't want to just check out and be on my phone. I was like, Ellen, if I were your new leader coming in, what would you show me how to do? What would you teach me? I wanted to see what she was doing in her organization that was different than what I've done. Because she's created 16 crystal executives. I have not created 16. So I wanted to learn from her so she was so willing. Here's the thing. Successful people are very willing to give you a little bit of their time if you ask properly. And especially on a team like this, people will give you their time. As long as you don't take advantage of their time, they'll give you a little bit of their time. So learn from people and get feedback from the right people. Okay. Don't post on Facebook and say, hey guys, what do you think about my network marketing company? Like, you're going to get, that's just asking for trouble. All right. Number 6, improvement and growth. Always be focused on improvement and growth. One of the things Eric taught us is plan, do, review everything. Plan it, do it, review it, everything. Plan, do, review. He goes, I do this multiple times a day. I do it multiple times a month. I do it multiple times a season. Plan, do, review. I thought, I just love that little phrase. It's simple, easy, but you can do it with anything in your life. Plan, do, review. Okay. Number 7 is have compassion. Have compassion for yourself. Know that this is a challenging industry because it expects you to grow. Your income will only grow to the extent that you do. And that's why a lot of people quit, because they're not comfortable with the feeling of growth and they give up on themselves. Not so much on the industry or the opportunity, but they give up on themselves. And I don't want to see that happen to you guys. So have compassion and know that it is a marathon, not a sprint. Okay. And don't compare. Please, 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 please don't compare yourself to people. Okay. Number 8 is your vision. When your vision is clear, the path will appear. I think I just made that up right now. Write it down. Okay. When the vision is clear, the path will appear. How true is that in every aspect of our life, right? Have we ever been in a situation where like, I don't know how this is going to work. And then we get clear and all of a sudden, boop. Because if we're not clear, God and the universe, whatever your spiritual belief is, it can't align. We're sending it conflicting messages. And so it's like this, and it doesn't know what to give us because we don't know what we need. The minute you become clear, people show up, the right opportunity shows up, the right, sale on tickets. We committed yesterday to go to NYKO. We had a beautiful sale on Southwest tickets, right guys? Like $79. You can't really get a flight for $79 one way. Like, that's a deal. When you commit, it shows up, right? So get crystal clear on your vision. Why do you want to do this? What is your vision for 2018? Get clear. Write it down, make it happen. I was so crystal clear, you guys, last year that I did not want to live in the Valley anymore. I love those of you that are still in the Valley. I love you. I'm not talking crap about the Valley. I knew for my soul, my personal soul felt stifled in where I was. I knew I wasn't supposed to be there anymore. So I had a very crystal clear vision of where we were going, where I wanted to live, exactly what I wanted to surround me in terms of nature and beauty and all this stuff. And I got to work. And we found a place and we are now living in that space. Now, if you look at my vision board from last year, there are pictures of things that look like on the property that we're now living in. Now, is that a coincidence? No, it's a manifestation because I visualized it every day and I prayed and I was so clear. I said, God, this is where we're supposed to be. Show me the house, show me the steps. I will show up, I will work hard and I will do it. And it will happen. It might not be overnight. We went through lots of challenges. It was hard. It was one of the top 5 hardest things I've ever done, but it happened. Because I was so clear in my purpose of that. So you have to do that with your Isagenix business. You want to go executive, crystal clear. Why? When will you be paid as executive? Now. Commit to it, visualize it, open up your back office. You guys, when I had no team, I used to just close my eyes at night and visualize having a big team meeting, logging in and seeing 4-star on my account, logging in and seeing, 10, 15, 16, 17 paid as consultants. I visualized that for years before it happened. What do you want to see in that back office when you log in? Instead of logging in and going, oh, I'm only manager, right? Oh, I went down to 2 cycles. Like whatever it is, focus on what you want to see there. Okay. And then when you hit that, make another goal. There's times, you know, everybody's cycles will go up and down. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Your cycles will go up and down. That used to bug me when people wouldn't tell me that, like top leaders wouldn't tell me that their cycles went down. Their cycles go down too, okay? Their cycles go up and down just like your cycles go up and down. Anyone that tells you differently is lying. I don't like that. I like to be very honest with you guys about the industry. And so there was a long time where like my dream was 20 cycles down the board all the time. Now when I hit 20 cycles, you guys, that's a low week for me. And I sometimes get PO'd about it where I'm like, oh, only got 20 cycles. Oh my gosh, you know? And then I have to take myself back 2 years. Well, I would have given my left toe for that. Right? Because we get complacent and then we just like expect it. Like, so I had to really like, you know, shake my head a little bit and go, okay, Britt, well, this is my base. Now my lowest weekly earnings used to be my dream. And then you just build up from there, okay? You just keep going up from there. So just know that it takes time with that. So as we kind of close out, here's what I want to share with you guys. I'm really excited about where this team is going. I have a grand vision for this team, not just for myself, but for you guys, because I know you guys are hungry and you want this. So Rebecca Cafiero and we spent 5 hours after Eric Worre training, sitting on our bed while everyone else went out and socialized. We didn't. We got to work. And we sat in our pajamas in our hotel room and we mapped out campaigns for our team for all of 2018. We thought of every holiday, every promotion that Isagenix might offer. We linked it with the 90-day game plan. We linked it with corporate events. We have a plan. I want you to know, as a leader on this team, I have a plan and a vision for 2018. Now, it doesn't mean that things can't change or they can't be, you can't put your own spin on it. Absolutely. But it's a structure that all of us can plug into so there's no confusion. There's no wondering what the next promo we're going to run is. It's already been created. And we are going to have a strategy and scripts so that you can plug in your teams, your leaders, your people, so everybody knows exactly what to do, when to do, and then there's synergy with building. Does that sound exciting to everybody? Awesome. So what we're going to do is Em and I are going to be working diligently the next couple weeks. The first campaign, and we're going to have trainings on each campaign. So I don't want you guys to be over. I'm not going to show you the whole calendar because I think for a lot of people it would be like, whoa. But would it be of value to you to know when we're going to run a promotion, what we're promoting, and exactly how to do it? Would that help you guys build your teams? Awesome. That's what we've created. I'm going to be working on scripts because people are like, Brittney, what do I say? Oh my gosh, what do I say? I don't know what to say. Okay, so we're going to be working on scripts. Emily and I are going to be creating memes, Zoom training calls for the launch of each new promotion so that you will have training in advance and you will have back-end support. Because what I thought about, and Rebecca and I, you know, we're at a very similar situation in our businesses and we work very well together. For those of you that don't know her, she's a top income earner in Isagenix as well. And we just like each other and our team. So we're going to combine team forces a little bit and we're going to do training calls where there'll be, you know, 60 people on instead of 30 on each of our teams. And it creates more synergy. We're going to do some competitions between teams to create some friendly competitions for stuff. So we're going to be doing a bunch of fun stuff, cross line and down line, up line, everybody's involved. Okay. Does anyone have any questions or comments about that? Yeah.
Well, so I just wanted to go over, I talked to a couple people on the team, and one of the things Britt and I were talking about this morning was making a clear schedule. So everyone who is committed, who really wants to go fast, needs to download on their phone Google Calendar if you don't already have it. If you don't, and then everyone is going to get the password username for that account. So everyone can tap into the Gmail account of Choose Your Life Now, which is also tied to our YouTube page. But currently it's not being used for anything other than the YouTube page. So we are going to use it to schedule all of our calls, all of our Zoom calls, all of the things that are coming up as for like if Talia calls me, hey, when's this next campaign? Or she wants to get a hold of Brittney, when's the campaign going to be running? We know. We open up our calendar, it's there. So we have all of that organized.
Absolutely. And we color coordinated, Rebecca and I have a calendar that we did. We color coordinated everything, Google Calendar. So it's really like professionally laid out. Because think about what the company offers. That's what I really had an epiphany. Like the company they're not just like, oh, cookies and cream is going to come out this week, guys. That was planned earlier in the year, right? They don't just like wing it. And a lot of times I feel like we've wung it, and that I will take full responsibility for that chaos because I haven't been that structured on the back end to tell people always like, what are we going to do for this holiday? I'm like, I don't know. Let's get on a call and figure it out. Like that's not working anymore. So one of the things Eric asked all of the 7-figure income earners to stand up if they were consistently running campaigns in their organizations. Guess how many of them stood up? All of them. Only about 8 in the room of about 200 people. About 8 of them are earning 7 figures or more a year, $1 million a year or more. Herb Cepeda is at 2.8. They all run consistent, organized campaigns, team-wide, period. And Rebecca and I looked at each other and we were like, mind blown, because I'm always like, what's so different, right? What are they doing that's different? That's what they're doing that's different. So we're going to do that. And we have the potential. And Eric Worre trained us on the different types of promotions that work, the structure of them, and how to set them up. So I'm not going to teach all of you guys how to do that yet. When you go executive, you will know how to run these for your team. But I think right now the plug and play is super easy for people, right? Plug and play. The other thing I want to say is I love our Choose Your Life Now organization and our team. Don't be so attached to the branding of that, you guys. It is a disservice to you as you grow your organizations. It's a team name that we came up with. Yes, we have t-shirts and all this fun stuff. When you go executive, you should create your own team. It doesn't mean you don't collaborate with us. It doesn't mean we don't still work together. We do. But you want to establish yourself as the leader in your organization as well, just like I've done with Choose Your Life Now. It's my branding that I've created for the team that I'm building. But at some point, you will want to break away from that. It doesn't mean you don't love me. It doesn't mean we're not buddies. It doesn't mean we're not going to collaborate. It's not, and I'm not going to take it personally. It's not about that. It's about you stepping into leadership. So just know that when you create an executive team, you're often running on your own. I will help you. I will still mentor you. We will do cross things, all this stuff. But don't be so attached to the CYLN. Does that make sense? Because it might not be your thing. And I don't want people to ever feel stifled by it. It was just a community building technique, and I think it's done amazing. But as you grow, you will probably, as you step into that leadership position, you will probably want to create your own branding. But don't do it until you're executive, right? You don't need to go there with the time and the energy and all that stuff until you're executive. Get to executive. We'll create a game plan from there to help you launch your own stuff. Does that make sense? Okay. But just, I feel like the part of that's been a little bit codependent, and I'm like, I don't want people to feel like they can't branch out of that. You can, absolutely. And I want you to. You should. Okay. Kathy Lamar and I are a perfect example. Kathy's my upline. She has Kick-Ass Healthy Moms. I have Choose Your Life Now, right? 2 totally different branding teams, but we work to get, like, you guys probably never thought about that before, but like Kathy and Carl for years had their own team calls, all this stuff. They link into my team now just because we have a great relationship. But this was all stuff that we kind of just created. Okay. Any questions on the promos or the leadership or anything else like that? Talia. Oh, let's unmute Talia.
I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you. That's all.
Yay!
That's
So
awesome.
good.
I'm really excited. I love it. So thank you for taking the time to do that. Appreciate it a lot.
Yay, I'm so excited. And that was one thing Eric said too. He goes, your team is waiting for you to tell them what to do. Your team is waiting for you to tell them what to do. You know, it's like I want people to be independent, but I think in the beginning, it's that structure of having a structure to plug into, and we get so much from Isagenix, but I think the campaigns will it's going to change the whole scope of our team. And Eric did say, he goes, if you do this effectively, you have the potential to max out your business centers. And that's for everybody. That's for everybody. If we follow this formula that works in our industry, company-wide, worldwide, it's impossible to fail. It's impossible to fail. You just have to get into action. Yeah. Awesome, guys. I know we went a little bit long today. Any other comments, questions, shares, anything? Lana? Nope. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Oh, just unmuting so that if anyone had any questions, but I'm just really excited, and I'm excited to get started on the calendar so that we can start banging this stuff out.
Yeah, so Em's actually coming up here tomorrow. We're going to work on a lot of that stuff and get a lot of that solidified. The other thing that you guys will have is you will have specific memes that you can use for each promotion. So if you want to spend time and create your own memes, go for it. I would probably say don't do that, because we're going to have that all structured. So just like the company has for us the tools, it's plug and play, so that you can focus on what you need to be focused on, which is income producing activities, which is connecting, enrolling, training, coaching, leading. Okay.
Awesome. Thank
Awesome,
you.
guys. Thank you for being on. Love you guys. Have a great, whatever day it is, Wednesday, and we will see you next week.
Bye.